Good day, everyone. Hope everyone's doing well. I am coming to you today to make a quick video about a question that I get asked all the time. Sal, how do you evaluate a house? How do you know what my house is worth? So for all of you that don't know me, by the way, I'm Salvatore Orfeo with RE/MAX. I've been in this business forever, since 1992. Sounds like a long time ago. It is. I sell lots of properties every year. Now, to answer the question about how do we figure out what your house is worth, I'll give you an idea. If I come over and I examine the property, I go through it, I visit the house, I look at what you've done in terms of renovations. I have to measure the house, I have to make sure I know the width and the depth of your property as well as the land. I know the area because I'm there, so I know where I'm going. I know where your house is located. Is we look in the past, in the last 3 months, we try to stay in the last 3 months. If we can't find other comparables, well, I'll back up an extra 3 months. So maximum 6 months or sooner, I'll look at who sold a similar or identical property. They're never identical, but they're close. So I'll look at who sold, and I'll look at how much they sold for, something that looks just like it in the same size, the same land. We try to figure out who sold for how much and when they sold for a similar home. Example, if your neighbor sold for $300,000 and he has the same house as you, he sold a month and a half ago, and you know you guys have the same house, you both redid your roof, and that's all you've done, well, a buyer will most likely want to pay the same amount in the short term if you just want to sell it at the same time. What could influence this price? What could get you more or less money than your neighbor if you're selling at the same time? So one of them, I said it earlier, is renovations. Some of the renovations you may put inside a home can get you more money. However, the question is, will you recuperate 100% of the cost of the renovations? So if you spend $50,000 on your kitchens and windows, will your house go up at least $50,000? That's the question. I'll let you guys think about that and see if it makes any sense. So we're looking at renovations. We're looking at market conditions. So in a seller's market where there's a lot less inventory and there's buyers scrambling to buy, and you notice that signs get put in front of the lawns, and all of a sudden there's bidding wars, which is what's happening right now. Well, this could influence the amount that you're going to sell. So if your neighbor sold for $300,000 and the market's a little crazy, maybe we're in March now where buyers are scrambling because they want to find something for July, you may get just a little bit more than your neighbor. The opposite is also true. So if we look at the market and we say, wow, you know what, your neighbor sold for $300,000 and it took him a year and a half to get it, you have the same house, I would tend to want to say maybe he was asking too much, or maybe he started off at the wrong price. So basically we look at who did what and when they did it, and that helps us determine the value of your home. One thing's for sure, I don't invent the number. I don't just guess or pull it out of a hat and say, yeah, that sounds just about right, let's go for it. Well, at least I don't do that. I come with comparables, I come with data. Everything I speak about is backed up with information at the table, so it's verifiable. I'm not going to be there and just kind of say, let's go for it. I know your neighbor got 300, we should get 450. I'm very realistic, and I like to think that I work with realistic sellers that appreciate great judgment and professionalism. I kind of laid out the basics. There's a lot more to it that could come to play, that can influence the value of the homes. I'll give you an example. Another factor that really kicks in is the house may look the same as the neighbor. However, it has a pyrite issue. Pyrite is a problem that we often see in the East End, especially in RDP, where there's issues with the rocks under the house. I won't get into detail about that, but there's issues. And this, if you have high levels of pyrite in your home, but you look like the neighbor, you'll probably get less money because pyrite could be an issue. It is an issue, and it really depends on the tolerance level of the buyer. So again, we have reports, we do testing, and this can affect the bottom line of what you sell for. Also, the immediate location. I spoke of location. So if you're in walking distance to the bus stop or the train station and the grocery store, that can get you sold faster because it's really well located, versus if you're you're out on a street where you have to walk 15 minutes to the bus, or you need the car to go to the grocery store, well, the buyer might say, well, it's not as well located. We actually use a service called walkscore.com. You might want to check it out. And you put in your address, and it rates your property in terms of how well located your home is. So walkscore.com, you could check it out. It's really an interesting little tool that gives you information. Contrary to popular belief, and I get asked this all the time, we don't look at city evaluation. Oftentimes, the city evaluation is not representative of the value of the current market. So I'll meet people where they'll say, but my house is evaluated this much. Shouldn't I get at least that amount? And the answer is not always. We've seen houses that are side by side, identical, and the evaluations don't even match. So we always follow the market and who just recently sold or who's on the market, and we try to judge or find out the activity level or if they're actually about to sell. So we look at real life and what's happening live on the field. What the city says in your valuation oftentimes does not reflect the current value of the market. And I have tons and tons of real life facts to show you. Comparables that it's evaluated like 800,000 sold for 650, or evaluated 390 sold for 480. So that's a big one. A lot of people always think the evaluation, I want at least my evaluation. So it's not always the case, and we're there to kind of figure it out and demystify all that. Okay, this is kind of the big story. If you guys want to know more, please let me know if there's anything else in the world that I can do for you. All right, have a great day.